Let me ask you a question. Are Oklahoma City a real threat in the Western Conference? They sit third in the West behind the Nuggets and the Timberwolves.
All right, Kev, you'd be so proud of me. I got a bunch of OKC stats. Now, up until tonight, they kind of screwed the pooch a little bit, on the road against Brooklyn.
That Brooklyn was nasty early.
It was bad. The Brooklyn was shooting the lights out. You had Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges, all those guys. They were shooting the shit out of the ball. So, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If OKC finishes second in the Western Conference, he's going to win MVP. I'm just going to put that out right now. It's just the way that this guy's been playing. Let's just go off his last 10 games. He's averaging 33, 7 and 6 his last 10 games. So we'll just give you the numbers that he's been putting up. So tonight he had 34, 33, 36, 24, 40, 36, 34, 34, 31, 30.
You get a 30 ball. You get a 30 ball. You get a 30 ball.
Everybody's getting a 30 ball. So if you're thinking about going against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his prize picks, you've been losing pretty consistently. But just pretty much in every metric, there's just a bunch of stats that the team is in like top 5, top 4, top 3. So as a team, OKC is shooting 50% from the field. As a team, they're shooting 50%. They're fourth in the league in scoring. They're first in the league in three-point percentage. They're shooting 39%. First in free throw percentage at 84%. So they're getting to the rack pretty consistently. Fourth in steals. They're first in blocks, which kind of surprised me that they're first in blocks. But I think that has to do a lot with Chet getting a bunch of these blocks. But they don't really have a big man. So I feel like that's kind of the only thing that's hurting them. They make at least 13 threes a game. So they're shooting the shit out of the ball pretty well. Tonight was kind of the anomaly. You have Shai, who's averaging 31 for the season, shooting 55% from the field, which is insane. Chet averaging 17 and 7 and 2 blocks. He's shooting 40% from 3, which is amazing. 54% from the field. And J-Dub, I feel like that's kind of their big 3. I don't really consider Giddey the guy. He's not really a guy that's going to score. He's more of a distributor. J-Dub's averaging 18. He's shooting 40%, 43% from 3 and 53% from field. So those 3 guys are all shooting 50% of the field. And as a team, they're shooting at least 50% from the field. So they've been shooting the ball pretty well consistently, besides tonight. Like I've already said, that this team is kind of a big man, maybe another piece away. But I mean, they're already second. They're top 3 in the West right now. And Kev, you can write this down on the whiteboard or the notebook, because I know that Shaun is here. If the OKC Thunder finish second in the West, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to win the MVP. That's just hands down. I gave you his numbers the past 10 games. If he's going to keep doing this and they're going to be able to stay at the top of the Western Conference, OKC is going to have another MVP in Oklahoma City. I think it would be their second MVP ever in history. So
third, or
KD,
third.
yeah, or third. KD and Russ. So he's in pretty good company. He'd be in pretty good company. I consider those guys Hall of Famers. So he's on that track. Maybe if you want to try and get a little bit better, just try to get a little bit better on your, big man depth. I don't know if there's really that many options out there, but just try to get better in your front court. But that's really, OKC is definitely a threat in the West. If they keep playing the way that they're playing and Shai's putting up the numbers that he's putting up, it's going to be unprecedented on how fast, I'd say, this OKC team was able to kind of, bounce back after KD and Russ and James Harden, after those guys kind of, that trio dispersed. So for Sam Presti to be able to build what he's building with all the picks that he's accumulating and, drafting a Chet, trading for a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and drafting a J-Dub, and, this team, I don't know. Well, I was pretty high on OKC in the pregame show, as we always like to refer back to at the beginning of the season. Even a couple of weeks ago, I kind of doubled down on them when Kev was like, they're probably going to fall down, you know, to like, play in. And I'm like, no, I think they're going to be a playoff team, like a solid team that's going to be a force in the West. I think the OKC Thunder are having a similar season to what the Sacramento Kings had last year. And I think, and I'm actually, no, I don't think, I know OKC is way younger than, the Sacramento Kings were. So I feel like OKC is definitely ahead of schedule in the organization's eyes and what they're going to be able to do and how young this team is and what they're already accomplishing at this young age that all these guys are.
So do you believe they should make a trade and kind of go all in, put all their eggs in one basket?
Like I said, they're young. So it's like there's nothing really to rush. I feel like they have an embarrassment of riches of picks, so they can blow 3 first-round picks on a Pascal or a Zach LaVine or whoever's out there. Like they have so many picks to be like, all right, like how much you want? Like how much you want for how many picks you want? Like I got picks. Picks are no object to the OKC Thunder. And that could be, you can wait in the offseason and try to get a guy and kind of lure them. Now it is Oklahoma City Thunder. So I don't know if guys are just, all right, let's pack our bags and move to OKC. I don't know if that's something people are looking forward to doing. So I believe if they were to get somebody, I don't know if it's going to be in free agency. You're going to have to try and trade for one of these guys and still be able to pay them at that too. Like I said, this team is young, so they're not really paying anybody. The only guy that they're going to have to pay is obviously Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And we saw reports from like last year that his max is going to be like 4 because CBA keeps going up and up and up pretty much every year. So his max is going to be like $400 million, a lot. So that's probably a reason why somebody would want to stay or move to OKC is, them being able to get paid. So, like I said, OKC doesn't really have to trade for anybody. It's just that they have so many picks and they're able to do something like that. They're not balling on a budget. There's no budget with them. They can, potentially, fuck up the market just based off of just how many picks that they have. They can reset the market for certain players because they have an embarrassment of riches and picks.
All right, Toddy. So before I give you this, I just want you to don't say anything, just think about it. So Oklahoma City sends a first and Josh Giddey to Chicago for Alex Caruso. Okay. And then they send 3 firsts to Utah for 26-year-old Lauri Markkanen. Think of this start line. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Alex Caruso, Jalen Williams, Lauri Markkanen, and Chet Holmgren. What is that team like?
Well, Lauri is not really a 5. He's more of a 4.
The 4, exactly. So he plays 4.
How many rebounds does Lauri average?
So Lauri is averaging right now 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 1 assist.
Because they need rebounding, if anything. But obviously he helps in the scoring aspect as Lauri was an all-star last year. So that may or may not relinquish a little bit of scoring duties from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know if his numbers dip at all because Shai is going to get his buckets whenever that he wants. But that would
I think Josh Giddey's the odd man out, bro. When you think about young guys, Jalen Williams really stole Josh Giddey's number. We thought that was going to be the big 3. You saw the summer league with Chet and Giddey really making that impact, but you have to execute on this right now. And yeah, I'm on both sides of the fence. You can run it in the playoffs, see how you do, and then go from there. But they have so many good picks. You can go out there and get a Lauri Markkanen and Alex Caruso. So now you have a lockdown defender, and you have Lou Dort still on this team. So Lou Dort and Caruso guarding the best 2 guys on the perimeter. They have 10 guys that are shooting over 40% from 3, and Josh Giddey's not one of those guys. So you're continuing to add a 3-point shooter and defenders on both ends. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. You add that, they're a top 5 defensive team and a top 3 offense in the NBA. You have to go all in right now. Do it early. The Jazz are really in this spiral that they're getting picks. They just want to rebuild and build around the guys that they have. Lauri Markkanen is a guy who's going to get paid in 2 seasons. Like you said, they're only paying Shea. You bring in Lauri Markkanen. You pay him. You still have Jalen Williams on his rookie deal for 2 seasons. You have Chet on his rookie deal for 2 seasons. So you're not paying anybody. So if you have to sprinkle some money for Alex Caruso and Lauri Markkanen to ensure that you will remain a top 3 seed in the West, I don't know who says no. Lauri Markkanen and you got your 3 young guys.
That's a trade I haven't seen either.
You said what?
I said that's not a trade that I haven't seen that either. So that's something that you could definitely look out for. But go ahead, continue. Sorry.
You bring in Alex Caruso and Lauri Markkanen to this team that's already doing really well. They could be the first team since 1969 to have the MVP and Rookie of the Year on the same roster. So this Oklahoma City team can make some noise, and I think those 2 pieces ultimately could make them a contender in the West. Right now, they're on the bubble of a contender. I think that puts them in the box right there. Because then you put that team against the Timberwolves, I'm probably taking the Thunder. You put them against the Nuggets, I don't know if Chet can hold up. But that's the only team, just like with the Kings, because those are the only 2 teams that predominantly really go big. Everyone else goes small. So you're telling me in a small ball lineup, you have 5 guys that can knock down a 3-pointer? Literally, 5 guys that can knock down a 3-pointer. And Shea is the king of the ISO hill. You get caught on that island, oh boy. Like Toddy saw his Celtics, Drew Holiday, go get him. Jason Tatum, you try. Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, Derek White. Next, Peyton Pritchard. They were throwing everybody out. You have to execute on this. We saw that they didn't really put enough around the last big 3 that they had. And you saw how close they got. Now you're doubling and getting rid of Josh Giddey and bringing in guys like Alex Caruso and Lauri Markkanen. I believe that them over the hump. So I would love to see it. But talking about the